Hello there everybody, Sam's Trains here, welcome back to the railway, lovely to have your company once again of course. I hope you've brought ear protection today because today I'm going to be running a load of the Hornby TTS sound locomotives, so it should be great fun if a little bit noisy. So yeah, the Hornby TTS locos, they're designed to be quite affordable, you know, not too expensive. Some of them are a little bit, but most of them are quite affordable. And I've got several of them, and I've always found them very good, to be honest. Great sound, normally great runners, some of them aren't quite so much. But anyway, I hope you're going to enjoy seeing these. I have 6 of them ready to show you today. So as I say, if you develop some sort of hearing problems during today's session, I do apologise, but I'm not responsible, blah blah blah. Okay, let's get started then with the first loco, and I know it's one you've all seen before, so here she is. So this is a blue A4, and of course normally when people see this, well, when I see it I always think mallard, but this one's actually gadwall, which is another bird name of course, but just a lovely locomotive. I think it was probably the first TTS loco I got. Anyway, she has a couple of teats coupled to her, and then on the siding next to her there's a little 040 which has the other few coaches. So what she's going to have to do is take those first 2 out, and then Gadwell can reverse back and pick them up. So I've picked that little 040 because it is on DCC, and of course this is a strictly DCC only running session. So let's take it away then, let's see if I can get those coaches to come out nicely. So let me set that to a shunt speed forwards. These coaches are notorious for their derailings, which certainly isn't ideal, but that seems to have worked quite nicely. Okay, I think she should be clear of the points there then, so I'm just going to hit stop on that, and then I'm just going to stumble around the side so I can just grab her off the track. There we go. Ooh, the coaches are rolling back. No, they're not, we're okay. Okay, let me go and just swap those points over then, and then we'll get Gadwell started. Okay, so it's just those that want changing. There we go, and Gadwell should be ready to run now. Okay, let's make some noise then, shall we? Here comes Gadwell's noise then. There we go, and I suppose the right thing to do is always whistle before you move off, so I'll do that. There we go. Sorry for speaking over it then, I probably shouldn't do that. Okay, let's set her to a shunt speed then, and get her to reverse. Well, I'm glad she was set in reverse, I thought she was going to go forwards for a second there. Okay. Nice and steadily does it, though not quite that steadily probably. A bit better. Just follow her out of shot. Okay, let's see if she can couple to the other coaches then. Okay, nice and steadily does it then. Oops, or not so much. Okay, let me keep her going back then, just so that she's well clear of those points. Ooh, look at that. Oh, there's nothing better than a lovely blue A4, is there? Well, maybe a lovely BR blue A4, I don't know. Let me know what you think about that. But let me just change the points, I'll do it off camera 1 second. Okay, I've done that then, let's, well, I'll tell you what, we'll do some door slamming. So, shut the doors on the coaches. There we go. And let's give it a different whistle this time. There we go. And I'll set her to a nice cruise speed. And I'll tell you all about the class. Off she goes. Bye bye Gadwell. See you in a second. So the A4s were a class of LNER Pacifics designed by Sir Nigel Grizzly and introduced in 1935. The most famous locomotive was Mallard, which broke the record for the world's fastest steam locomotive at 126 miles an hour in 1938. The A4s were based on the Class A1, which was also a Grizzly design, but produced around 15 years previously. Gadwell was eventually renamed to Sir Ralph Wedgwood, only to be destroyed in the Baedeker raid of 1942 and sadly was never repaired. Of 35 built, 6 remain in preservation. Okay, I'm going to hit stop on her then, just for a second, and I bet she's not going to stop in the shot. Ooh, she might just... oh, not quite. Okay, let me back her up then, I can fix this, I can fix it. And while she's doing that, let's have a little bit more whistling, shall we? Go on then, off you go. There we go. I know I should have pressed stop sooner. It is always hard to stop these DCC locos in the right place. But anyway, there she is then. There's Gadwell. What number is she? 4469. She'll be running again in just a second, but first of all, here is the next loco I'm going to show you. And the second loco today is an 060 from the LMS, and this is the 4F, although of course it is in the BR Black livery. And she's going to be pulling quite a nice selection of wagons, and I do love mixing up different kinds of wagons, so hopefully you'll enjoy seeing that. But for now then, let me just grab these points, because of course you need power. So there we go, and let me turn the sound on then. There we go, lovely sound this one. Okay, shall we do some, well, I would press the door slamming button again, but she doesn't have any doors, because well, what the hell, you know, I'll do it. Okay, no. The button isn't assigned properly. I promise I'll press the door slamming button there. Anyway, let me give it a long chime then, see what happens. There we go. And let me set her to a bit of a cruise speed then, and see if we can get these wagons out. Now I actually want this train to be on the middle line, so she has to cross some more points as well. But there go the wagons. Lovely smooth run on this one. And I'll say that and she'll derail now, watch it. No, she seems alright. And as soon as these wagons get out, I'll speed her up a little bit. Okay, so she's approaching these points then, so I'm just going to open them up. And of course, once she's crossed these, she then will be on the middle line, which is exactly where we want her to be. Anyway, she should be coming into shot now. Yeah, there she is. Let's have another whistle then. There we go. At least we got a whistle that time. I was half expecting fireman's breakfast or something like that. Anyway, these express points are great though. I mean, you'd never get derailments on them. Well, not never, but very rarely. Anyway, enjoy this quick session with her then, and I will give you a little bit of history on the 4F. So as I said already, the 4F originated on the LMS railway, and it was designed by Henry Fowler. The 4F was intended for medium freight, and they got the nickname Duck Sixers. See if anyone can tell me why in the comments. The design originated from the Midland Railway 3835 class, which was built in 1911, but the 4Fs were a slightly modified version of this, and they were built quite a bit later, in 1924, so yeah, quite a bit later. Lots of them were built though, 575 were built over 17 years, and all but 3 were withdrawn and scrapped between 1959 and 1966. And she really is a superb runner, isn't she? I was quite disappointed with the detail on this one, but man, does she run well. And the sound is excellent as well. It's not too loud, so it doesn't deafen you, and my ears are feeling okay so far, so I hope yours are too. Still lots more locos to see though, so don't count your chickens. Okay, I think we'll give her a break there then. Okay, let me give her a stop there then, try and stop her next to Gadwell if I can. There we go, and she will be running again in a second. But let's show you the next loco then, and I forgot what the next one was, so I'll find out and then we'll get to it. Okay, next up then, a very, very big freight locomotive. This is a 9F, which is a 210O, so absolutely huge. And it's the 9F with the Franco Crosty boiler as well. And as you can see, she's pulling quite a nice rake of different wagons and things, and I love all the different colours of those. So yeah, that is a classic Hornby freight load. But for now then, let's turn her sound on, and you probably won't be able to hear much over the other sounds. But I'll give her some whistles, because you'll definitely hear that. There you go. This one has got quite good quiet sound actually, it isn't too loud. There you go, there's a different whistle. Let me just make sure these points are set, just change those two. Okay, and let's see how she gets on then with these wagons. Okay, I'm going to set her to just a little bit above her shunt speed. And wish her the best of luck. Move the camera a bit so that you can see where she's headed. She can go a little bit quicker than that actually. There we go. Well, so far so good, nothing's derailed yet, and I should never say that because something always goes wrong when I say that. But I think we're okay. Yep. It's hard to tell. But okay, let me shut these points then, and I'll speed her up a little bit more. And here's a little bit of history on the class. Designed by Robert Riddles, the 9Fs were the last standard locomotives to be produced for British Railways. They represented the ultimate development in freight locomotives, and they proved themselves to be extremely fast and powerful with their 10 extremely powerful driving wheels. Between 1954 and 1960, over 250 9Fs were built, but only 10 were fitted with this Franco-Crosty boiler, which was considerably more complicated than traditional boilers, with the exhaust heat being used to then start heating the water before it's even fed into the boiler. Although the Crosty boiler was intended to improve efficiency, the results were actually unimpressive, and it was deemed too complicated to continue fitting them. In total, 9 of the class were preserved, though the rest were sadly scrapped. Well, I hope you've enjoyed seeing these three. I certainly have. Time now then to get all of them running together. Well, all three of them. So first of all, the 4F. Here we go. Let me set her off. And also, let's hear from Gadwell. Okay, for some reason the 4F hasn't taken off. There we are, it is now. It is a strange thing, that 4F. But they're off, nonetheless. Let me send Gadwell at a bit of a higher speed. Okay, quick running session then with all three of them. Well, it's not quite as noisy up here as I thought it would be. To be fair though, I haven't got the noisy ones running yet. Gadwell's quite noisy, but the 4F and the 9F are definitely more quiet. So we've got that joy to look forward to then. I think the highlight so far has probably been the 4F for me. Oh, I don't know though, that 9F is fantastic. Let me know in the comments which you're enjoying the most so far, and we'll see if your opinion changes when I show you the final three engines. Oh, that 9F is good though, isn't it? I really ought to test it to see just how much it can pull. I bet it can pull more than just those. Well, yeah, obviously it can. Good old Gadwell. Or Gadwall, I don't know. I never know how to say things, do I? I'm not very good at that. Very elegant, isn't it, the 4F? I've always thought so. It looks great with some wagons too. Here comes the 9F, very, very different. About 3 times the size, of course. But still very graceful in its own sort of way. Brilliant. Well, I'm going to stick these three back into their sidings then, and as soon as I've done that, I'll be back and I will show you the next 3 locos of today. So stay tuned. I hope you're going to enjoy them. Let's get on to it. Ah, can you hear that? Total silence. Well, we can't have that, can we? So let's move on to the next loco. This one is another LNER locomotive, and it's a 282, I believe, so very, very large. And it's the P2, Grizzly's P2. And you can't see them that well, but it does have some blood and custard coaches hooked up to it. Most of them are hidden behind the factory and the shed and things, but you will see those in a second. Anyway, let me just open the point so that she's got some power. There we go, and let me turn the sound on. Okay, this is where things are going to get noisy. Listen how loud this whistle is. Oh yes. It's got some power, that whistle has. Okay, well, I want her to be on the very inner line, so she's got lots of points to cross. Not the ideal locomotive for that, actually, so it was a bad plan on my part. But we'll give it a try. Here we go, then. The lovely P2. Oh, God. She's off. There we are. I think I slowed down too little too late there, but... Okay. Right, let's change some points then, shall we? Okay, so these 2 points should allow her to cross onto the main line, onto the middle line, safely. It's all the main line. So let's see if she can do that. Hopefully she will. Okay, looks good. And now we have some much tighter points to cross to get her onto the inner line, so that should be fun. Okay, well she's fast approaching, as you can see, so I'm just going to open these points, and I'm going to try and get her to slow down some as well before she reaches them, so that she doesn't fly off the track. Hopefully she won't. Oh, it's a bit awkward, isn't it? But the loco seems to have done it, so let's keep our fingers crossed for the coaches. Yes, that wasn't too bad at all. And that genuinely was the first take of that. I did not have to do that again. Right, well, that was very good. Okay, here we are then. Here's a little bit of history on the P2s. So this class was also designed by Sir Nigel Grizzly, and it was introduced to the LNER in 1934. It was capable of hauling massive loads, even though it's only got a few coaches today, and the 282s were actually intended for heavy passenger trains up in Scotland. Cock of the North, this one was the first of the class, and it was built in Doncaster in 1934. 5 others were built over the next 2 years, leaving 6 in total. All 6 were actually rebuilt into A2s by Thompson, which were then Pacifics, not 2A2s, which many felt spoilt them. All of the rebuilds were then scrapped, though a new build is underway, of course. How beautiful. It's actually one of the best things I ever did to buy that rake of blood and custard teaks. I don't know, I just love them. They're probably not very authentic, are they? I mean, the teak colour is more what you'd expect. But yeah, I think they're lovely. They really, really are. Okay, time to stop her, I think, and I will show you the next loco. Okay, I'm going to press the stop button, and I suppose she'll stop where she'll stop. There we go, so there she is then, Cock of the North, beautiful loco, not such a great runner, she's a little bit noisy, and I don't just mean the sound, I mean the motor's quite noisy. But that's not important, let's move on then and have a look at the 5th loco of the day. Here we go. Next up then, it's one of my new favourites, and I'm so glad to see this one on the tracks again, aren't you? Yeah, it's not my favourite class, but it's probably my new favourite model, and I've only just reviewed it, and if you haven't seen the review yet, you must check it out because it is an absolutely incredible model. In fact, it's the only one I've ever given 10 out of 10 to on all categories. So yes, a truly fantastic model. It's the King class, of course, and as you can see, she's coupled up to that gorgeous set of GWR coaches again, which looks absolutely fantastic. So let me grab the points then, so that she has power once again, and let's give her a little bit of sound. There we go, you can just about hear that. Okay, let's give her a few whistles then. There we are, that was the 2 bursts. Let's have a long one then. Yeah, very nice. Okay, and let me see if I can't turn the camera a bit just before she sets off. I did actually press set off, but hasn't yet. Okay, there we are. These points aren't great, by the way, so you can forgive the loco if she struggles on them. But she is going nice and slowly. Shall I try and move the camera a bit more? Yes, sorry about that. Manhandled you a little bit there, didn't I? Okay, well, the loco actually did that a lot better than I expected her to. And the coaches, so far, seem to be doing just as good a job. Speed it up a little bit then, and stop it there. Let's change these points back, and then let's get the lovely King onto the middle line, shall we? Okay, so the engine stopped just there, which is fine because the points are just ahead of us, so let me swap those, and just for your delight, I will give you another whistle. There you go, I can tell you like that. Okay, a little bit more speed then, let's go. Let's have another one, go on then. Look at that. And across the points she goes. What a fantastic model. Come on, you've got to love it, haven't you? It's the Great Western Way or the wrong way. And I think they did it the Great Western Way this time. Okay, here's a little bit of history. I know I only just gave it to you the other day, but just in case you're interested, here it is. Based on his Castle class, Collet introduced the Kings in 1927. They were the largest and most powerful 460 locomotives ever to run within the United Kingdom, and they could outhaul most other locomotives, even Pacifics. Most of the class served into the BR era, where they were continued to be used as express passenger locomotives until they were eventually withdrawn in 1962. Of the 31 that were produced, only 3 were preserved sadly, but this example, built in 1928, was cut up in 1962 after 34 years of service. Right, I'm going to stop the King just over there then for you, and she'll be going again in just a second. So there's a close-up of her, King George I, truly one of the best models I've ever seen. But for now then, let's move on to yet a different model, and this is a Standard Class 8. So yes, the lovely Standard Class 8, there it is then, the Duke of Gloucester, and it's a Pacific of course, and she is pulling just a small rake of 4 blood and custard coaches, because I couldn't fit any more into that siding before the King was parked there. So yeah, there she is anyway, lovely Brunswick green of course, very gorgeous. But let me open these points so that I can switch her sound on. There we go, I think this is possibly the loudest of them all. And if it gets a little bit obnoxious, I do apologise. But anyway, let me give her a nice long whistle. Sounds very American, that whistle does. So yeah, don't know what's going on with that. But let's press the shunt button. And let's see how she goes. Very nicely. Coaches, no problem on these points. In fact, let me speed it up a tiny bit. There we go. And here's a little bit of history then on the Class 8. So the Standard Class 8 was introduced in 1953, and it closely resembled the Britannia class, but it sported a 3rd cylinder rather than just having 2. Like the Class 7, the Class 8 was designed by Robert Riddles, and Duke of Gloucester, the prototype, proved to be a big improvement over the Class 7, but it also showed signs of boiler problems. At the time though, British Railways were determined to abolish steam and move over to diesels, and so the class was never really developed any further than that, and the Duke of Gloucester was the only example ever to be built. But it is preserved and it's still around today, although it has undergone lots of modifications since then. Okay, time for another quick running session then with these 3. Let's get Cock of the North started first. I'll give her a nice express passenger speed this time, just so that you can see her at some speed. Go on girl, off you go. There we go. And of course the King class, let's hear a whistle as well. There we go. Come on. A bit sleepy today, aren't they? But she's off. I'll give her a bit of an express speed as well then. There we go. Okay, enjoy it then. There's that King. Sorry if I end up focusing too much on the King, by the way. I will try not to. There you go, look. I'm showing you the P2 now. There they go off into the distance together. That's quite nice. Okay, where's that Duke of Gloucester then? She should be appearing any second. There she is. Slowed her down a tad because she wasn't too happy at that speed. to say. It's not a good motor inside her at all, really. But she's happy enough, you know. Certainly not bad at that speed. That P2 looks amazing at high speeds, doesn't it? It really does. It just looks silly with only 4 coaches. I won't do that again. Right, who else are we waiting for then? I see something. Looks like we've got the Duke of Gloucester then. And the King class as well, by the looks of it. Running just about side by side. The King's just going a bit faster, I reckon, but ooh, that's still lovely, isn't it? Oh yes. We're in the best hobby, aren't we? Without a doubt. Without a doubt. Oh, you got the P2 again. There you go. See? What other hobby would give you a lovely P2 like that? Well, if you can still hear me, guys, then congratulations, you still have the use of your ears. But I think that should just about do it for today. So again, I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. Yes, it is a bit gimmicky having sound locomotives, but to be honest, I think it's a really, really good gimmick, isn't it? And it's been great fun to show these to you, so I hope you enjoyed seeing them anyway. And if you did like the video, please feel free to just leave it a thumbs up, because that is so helpful to me, and you know, it keeps this channel alive. Yes, very grateful to all of you for your support. If you'd like to, please feel free to check out the Facebook and Twitter pages. I post all sorts of stuff on there, and it means you will find out when a new video has come a little bit easier as well. They're at facebook.com/samstrains or twitter.com/samstrains. It would be lovely to see you over there, but for now, folks, once again, for the 30th time or whatever it is, thank you for watching, but seriously, thank you, and I will see you all very soon. Cheers, everybody.